5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Strange Planet Podcast.
Hey!
broke the sound barrier. I thought we were frozen, didn't you?
Silence.
Welcome, everybody, to the Strange Planet Podcast, the strangest of all the podcasts on the strangest of all the planets. We are your hosts. This is
Corey James.
and I'm Anthony Zevatek. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hello, Clarice.
Oh, did the lambs keep you awake, Clarice?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. Really good.
Another week has gone by.
Yeah, another week just flew right by.
I didn't even get the last podcast up until like Friday.
I know.
So it's been like 2 days since they got the last podcast.
Oh, they love it though. They love it all.
Sorry.
No, I'm good. I had a nice weekend.
It felt like it was a fun weekend, but just so short.
Mhm.
Like coming off all these holiday weekends now
Yeah.
and everything, a 2-day weekend just didn't cut it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ready for some long weekends.
I caught up with Senor Johnny Dilworth
I saw that.
on Saturday. Went out and he was in town. He's heading back out of town here in a couple of days. So it was nice. I was like the only time I had to grab to catch up with him, and it was really fun. He says hello, passes his hello.
Hey, Johnny.
Hey. So that was really fun. I mean, that was just went out and drank beers and had lunch.
It was funny. I was in Greensburg
Oh, nice.
when you posted that picture.
There you go.
I was in Greensburg Mall.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
He was like, "Oh, they're in Greensburg," and I was like, I thought about texting you or something, but
that's what we went over to. I mean, we went. Apparently, every place to eat in Greensburg is closed on Sundays for some reason. At least the first 6 places we went to. So we went to a couple of bars and grabbed a
Winghearts?
beer. Yeah, well, we ended up going to Winghearts.
I was gonna say I think they're open.
We ended up going to Winghearts and grabbing lunch there.
Nice.
Had a burger and a dozen wings. I felt like a fat ass. It was great. It was good stuff. I loved it. I don't have my phone out.
You want to dive right in here?
Yeah, let's dive.
First of all, we got our Avengers trailer,
Yeah,
and we're excited.
we are so excited.
But we're excited enough that we're gonna put that at the end of the podcast so we can just talk a lot about it.
Yes, correct. It does not feel
Even
fair.
though we always do our Marvel news at the beginning,
Right, but it does
and
not
we
feel
still will.
Right, but it doesn't feel fair to the Endgame trailer to lump it in with a whole section. I mean, especially when it feels like we've been waiting 2 years for this trailer. I know that's kind of our own doing by
It's been
making,
what? Not even 6 months.
not even 6 months. It felt like forever.
It did
though.
feel like forever.
So we don't have any comics this week to show you.
No.
Nothing on the radar.
No.
So we're gonna get into the Marvel news.
Marvel news.
There was a big.
We thought
Well, yes,
we were going to get the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer on Sunday,
right.
and we didn't.
No, there was
They got it at, Brazil Comic-Con?
Yeah, there was a big con in Brazil, and they had the panel where they had Tom Holland and
Brie Larson.
and Jake Gyllenhaal was there, which was amazing to see. And they were talking about Spider-Man Far From Home. Everybody there got to see a neat little trailer. We did not, which I would imagine, ideally this week.
What's up with this trend all of a sudden of releasing footage at Comic-Cons? It used to be like the second it went up at Comic-Con, it was on YouTube.
Yes.
And now they're all like, nah, we're going to let the guys that went to Comic-Con have their little spotlight here.
Right, they can enjoy it before anybody else gets to. So we got some plots.
But yeah, we got freaking detail for detail,
Yeah.
word for word of what that trailer was.
Yeah. Pretty.
And it was surprising
Yes.
to say
Yes.
for most people, I think. I was pretty surprised at what was revealed in that teaser trailer thing.
Right.
So it opens with Happy Hogan and Aunt May and Spider-Man and MJ and what's his friend's name?
Ned.
In London or Europe or wherever they're at.
Right.
I heard there's a lot of flirting with Happy Hogan trying to like hit on Aunt May, of course. And then we get... So this is where it kind of gets confusing of what I read.
Right.
Is there 4 different villains? Or did they combine 4 Spider-Man villains into one? Because from what I've heard, we have an elemental villain who controls water, sand, fire, and wind. Which sounds to me like everybody thought we were getting Hydro Man and Sandman and whatever the Flame Dude is.
Right.
But it sounds to me like they combined all 4 of those Spider-Man characters into one villain.
Yeah. Yeah, it did sound like that. This is, I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, if it is in fact how it is, we were just talking the other week about Marvel rehashing old ideas, and now that they might have a new idea for us, I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah, it's...
What is this guy's name? What's his name going to be? Avatar?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But it seems like they took a bunch of low-tier villains. Because who cares about Hydro Man?
Who does care
Sandman
about Hydro Man?
is a little bit of a bigger Spider-Man villain.
Right.
But we've seen him already.
Yes.
So if you're going to combine them, whatever. And it seems like it happens pretty early on in the movie.
Right.
So it's probably kind of throwaway villain just to move the plot to where we're going next.
Right.
Which Mysterio shows up to help Spider-Man fight this elemental villain.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
According to what Jake Gyllenhaal was saying, is that Mysterio is hired by S.H.I.E.L.D. And Nick Fury to assist Spider-Man.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
I don't know what to feel about any of this.
Eventually, I would honestly hope that eventually, throughout the movie, Mysterio turns bad. Well,
from what we kind of know, is that there is going to be a final throwdown in the carnival, which I would assume is the fight between Mysterio and Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Something's going to happen between S.H.I.E.L.D. and Mysterio that Mysterio is not going to like.
Right.
And he's going to go rogue.
Yes.
And then we're going to have... we got a bunch of shots of Spider-Man in his stealth suit.
Yes.
We got a shot of his stealth suit being destroyed.
Yeah.
Which means he had to switch to his regular suit.
Right.
There was a clip, I guess, of S.H.I.E.L.D. having to come in and save Spider-Man from Mysterio at one point. So it was a lot of random weird stuff. But yeah, the one main part I did not expect was Mysterio and Spider-Man working together as a team.
Right.
Cool plot device.
Sorry, I can't stop yawning at everybody today. I've been up since 2:30 this morning. I'm sorry for all the yawns. I mean, as we all know, that Mysterio, his backstory is that he is a special effects person and
aspiring actor,
and
fails.
he gets fired or whatever, and he decides to take his powers and use them for bad.
Right, which is a kind of meh origin. I think
I agree.
So if you're gonna, I mean, we still don't know what his origin is.
Right,
it might still be that.
True.
It seems like we're not going to get a lot of that. It seems like he's going to be already established as whatever he is.
Right.
Which is kind of weird. S.H.I.E.L.D. just reaching out to random...
Maybe it's a kind of S.H.I.E.L.D. initiative that goes into play post-decimation to where they're like, all right, we need to start getting more people to help. It can't just be the Avengers. We need other people, which is maybe where we'll end up seeing like the Master of Kung Fu, and we'll see things like Captain Britain, and we'll see things like eventually maybe a possible Nova, Black Knight, or Moon Knight kind of thing.
So this movie does come out after Avengers 4,
yes,
right?
This Spider-Man Far From Home it's either June or July of next year.
Okay.
So we are post-decimation.
Okay. Yeah, because you said that, and I was thinking, we still don't know if it's a prequel or not, but obviously if it's after Avengers 4, it's not going to be a prequel to
I would find it
Infinity
terribly
War.
hard to believe that they would honestly make Homecoming a...
Well, they could do that. They should have done that
home.
if it came out before Infinity War.
Right.
Or before Avengers 4.
Right.
But it doesn't, so
Right.
that's fine.
Right.
Make it a sequel.
Exactly. So,
Did you see the picture of the stealth suit?
I
up
did
close?
see the picture of the stealth suit, and I'm not crazy about it.
What's up with the weird...
It's like the steampunk goggles.
Yeah, well, they, like, took his eyes that are on the regular Spidey suit and made them into goggles.
Right.
So rather than just having round goggles, they have, like, the cat point looking thing.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I did not entirely care for the picture of the stealth suit.
If they would have put a hat on it and a black trench coat,
I would have been all for it.
some gun holsters,
Yep, I think that
boom.
sounds fantastic.
It would have looked exactly like the Noir suit, and we would have been golden. But,
I'm hoping it is not in the movie long. I'm hoping that it just looks so blech.
I'm curious to where he gets his suit, because from what I heard from that trailer, they make it a point to show you that he leaves his suit in New York when he goes to Europe to try to take a break.
Okay.
And which is why S.H.I.E.L.D. comes to him and says, we need your help, here's a suit.
Right.
Which is why he has the stealth suit. But then I heard that the suit gets destroyed when he gets beat the shit out of, and then he has to switch back to his other suit. Does he go back to New York?
Yeah, does Happy make a run for him? Like
That might be true.
something.
Happy's all up in
Happy's all up in everybody's business.
grills.
Yeah, I'm just really I'm interested to see this the trailer whenever we do.
Yeah.
I will reserve all final judgments until I see the trailer. Like I'm not gonna completely abandon all hope on the stealth suit when all I've seen so far is an image
Of it on a mannequin at Comic-Con.
right? Or
You're not seeing it with the After Effects and shit on it.
Exactly. So and how practical it is, I guess, will help with my decision as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like at night when he's crawling around and doing crazy shit and using it, maybe it'll be cool.
Right.
I don't know.
We'll see. I'd be cool if, honestly, it would be cool if, like, whenever they show it in the movie that, you can't even see, like, an outline.
He just blends in.
Yeah, it's literally just, like, nothing.
Just
And,
blinking
like,
white eyes.
Webs coming from nothing. Yeah, like, I think that would be really cool. But that's just me. Moving on, we had a little movie poster.
Yeah.
For X-Men: The Dark Phoenix.
That was also an exclusive giveaway at the Comic-Con in Brazil.
Right.
It just popped up on my Twitter, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That's badass.
It was,
that's more badass than the movie's going to be.
I know. Honestly, you're exactly right when you say that. It was super classy, super old school.
Old school, yeah. Okay, so we got a comic-inspired Dark Phoenix movie poster.
Yes.
So like the Phoenix on the comic cover was drawn to what's her face's likeness.
What is her face?
I don't remember.
Why can't
the chick that's playing Dark Phoenix?
Sophia
Turner?
No. Maybe.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that does sound right. Let's see if we can.
Not Sophia Bush from One Tree Hill.
There you go. You can kind of see a little bit.
If I actually felt like doing some editing on this, I could just bring it up.
Bop it, but who cares?
It looks awesome.
X-Men Phoenix Negra. Yeah, it just looks really cool.
You got everybody.
Yeah, you've got. I think it is Sophie Turner. I think you're right. Good on you, mate. We got James McAvoy and we got Michael Fassbender. Which, as the X-Men formula will have us know this, is that they're going to be on the two sides of pulling the Phoenix.
Right.
So
Tug of war.
You can very much tell. July 15th, they have for the or June 15th. I'm sorry. No, that has nothing to do with it. June 7th?
I don't know.
June 7th.
Doesn't it come out in like February?
No, it was supposed to come out in
It moved again?
I thought it moved again.
I thought it was in like February.
Anyway, if it even ever does get released.
I was gonna say, I don't even give two shits about the movie. I just thought that comic book cover was pretty cool. I like when they do that old school throwback stuff for movies.
Yeah.
And it's cool when they give exclusives away for Comic-Con people.
Right. We agree. Hopefully we will be those people someday.
Yes.
That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
June 7th, 2019. They're going to sandwich it right there in between Endgame and Far From Home.
Bad idea.
Yeah, bad idea. We'd have
How
no
can
one
they do that?
talk about your movie.
I know we talk about this all the time, but if the finalization of Fox and Disney is at the end of this year, how does a movie release on Fox almost through the whole way through the next year?
Right. I mean, they've
I don't know
already,
how this shit works.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it's already done, so I can understand that sense. You know.
Yeah, but you're releasing a character that is now licensed to a different company.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do they have to give like Disney some type of royalties
Probably.
or something for releasing it?
I'd imagine. Very cool stuff. Very
cool.
Next little topic. Do some fun talking about stuff. Is looking forward to Phase 4. So, what characters do you hope to see in Phase 4? And new characters, right? We're not talking old characters that we already know are gonna be in things.
I didn't really have any ideas.
Okay.
I just came up with the question, and I thought you had probably been thinking about it a lot.
I did have a couple thoughts.
I know what we all want. Well, we don't all want, but we want to see the Fantastic Four.
Right.
We obviously want to see the X-Men.
Yes.
I guess. Those are just obvious answers. To dig down a little bit deeper, obviously, we all want to see Adam Warlock.
Yes.
Just because we got that tease.
Correct.
And that's something that might not happen now.
Right.
So those are just certain ones that I thought of.
Like I just said a little earlier, I think Moon Knight.
Moon Knight would be really cool.
Really cool to do, and they could really bust that into like a. If you don't want to pull it into the cinematic universe, then give them a series.
I mean, is Moon Knight considered a street level?
Yes.
Hero?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he is granted his powers through an ancient artifact, so I figure he could probably fight whoever the hell he wants, but I think most of his stuff goes down on the street.
Happens, yeah.
I would not mind seeing, I always talk about this, and it's so obscure, but there's, obscure characters can be done great things with, is Quasar.
Yeah.
I think that's just a really cool, fun character where you could really make it interesting.
When are we going to get a little bit more of these cosmic characters? When are we going to get, like, Gladiator and shit?
Right. The Eternals is set to start filming soon and release in the early 2020s. So that's going to open up our big cosmic realm. Nova.
Yeah,
is another
I'm surprised we haven't seen Nova.
I know.
I'm surprised that they went with Captain Marvel before they went with Nova.
Yeah, I agree. And then I think looking at it from another side is kind of the villains. I like, I'm a big villain guy, so looking at the villains and seeing like a Galactus, a Kang the Conqueror, a MODOK.
Yeah, right. The day that I see MODOK, whatever you want to call it, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Yeah. There's two characters that I expect to never see on the big screen. And I remember when I was in 4th grade, and I had these conversations with people, and I was like, "We'll never see Apocalypse. You guys are crazy," and we did.
We did.
It wasn't the greatest, but we did.
I mean,
two characters I don't ever expect to see is MODOK and Mojo.
Okay, yeah, Mojo seems a little too out there. Although the possibilities of a Mojo-verse kind of movie would be amazing.
How cool would that be to have a spin-off movie? Like, okay, so you introduce the X-Men when we get all this quantum realm shit going on, and there's obviously going to be different timelines where different things happen, where maybe this timeline mutants do exist.
Right.
And then you introduce them in the MCU, but then you have spin-off movies where they are sucked into the Mojoverse or something, and it has nothing to do with the greater scope of the MCU. It's just focused story.
I would like to see, hoping that Marvel Studios does take over and start to take care of the X-Men. I would love to eventually see Sauron. And I know in the larger scale, it's going to be like Mr. Sinister and all that. And then trust me and this guy have been begging to see Mr. Sinister in an X-Men movie.
We got that close.
We
got a name on a freaking briefcase.
Got that effing close. I've always been a fan of Sauron. I think it's an interesting character.
Savage Land. Give us the Savage Land.
Yeah,
give us
it's
just all those characters that were in the Savage Land.
And then, as far as we're talking a Phase 4, I would like to see Wonder Man. I think that could be the next kind of Guardians of the Galaxy kind of hit that comes out of nowhere. And I know, of course, Wonder Man, Wonder Woman, blah, 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 blah. Well, if you don't know the difference, then you're obviously paying attention to the wrong things. So, yeah, Wonder Man I think would be really cool. If I had to a top 5, it would be Fantastic Four, Nova, X-Men, Wonder Man, and
I think the
Galactus.
Fantastic Four is definitely going to be our next.
The next big movie. I would love to see the Fantastic Four step in the place of the Guardians of the Galaxy. You could really just, and I know they're going to do a third Guardians because maybe. I feel like they shouldn't.
They're going to. They're not going to leave that franchise just go away.
Well, hopefully they do the same thing for I guess if let's say if we're talking who I want to see in Phase 4, Daredevil.
Yeah, right.
All right. So yeah, there's a couple answers for you. Busted out a few of them.
It's nice that we do have Hawkeye.
Yeah,
because every time we bring up a character, I want to say they're too weak to be with these guys.
Right.
But then you remember that Hawkeye's been hanging out with these guys from the beginning, and you're like, all right, they can hang.
That's the cool thing about Hawkeye, and me and Jess just watched the Avengers and then Avengers.
He's the best part of Avengers 1.
He's the best part of Age of Ultron.
And he's the funniest part of Age of Ultron.
He's got the most
cracking up the whole time. He's just dropping these one-liners and hiking through the city. It's like everybody else can fly.
He's got the most heart and depth.
He gives that nice speech
character, yeah.
Scarlet Witch.
Oh yeah, and he's talking to his wife, and he's like, they need me, and she's like, that's what I'm afraid of. It's he steals the show there. And I feel like that's what we're gonna see here in Endgame. We're gonna see a lot more of Hawkeye, aka Ronin. So yeah, there we go. Some more characters. I'd like to think about this more and come back with another
strong guy.
Yeah, come back
tiny
with
head,
big body. Yeah, I'd like to come back with a neat list next week with some more names on it. So. That's your Marvel news for the week.
Yeah, boy.
Coming at you. Moving on to DC news. DC news. All right. So, in an interview this past week, Amy Adams, who played Lois Lane in Man of Steel and Justice League,
and Batman v Superman.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that movie. She had said that she is gone.
They're revamping the DC universe, and she is out.
She is out, and they're revamping.
Which we knew.
Which we talked
about. That they were revamping the DC universe. They're making them not connected anymore. They're trying to make one-offs.
We hoped for a revamping months ago.
They're doing revamping while continuing, which is...
Right.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
No, I don't either.
We already kind of knew that Henry Cavill was on the way out. So does Lois Lane being gone mean for certain Henry Cavill is out as Superman? can you recast the woman that he's been...
Cavill's already been out. Didn't he announce?
I don't know if it's 100%.
Okay.
I think it's still just hearsay.
Okay.
Because of the whole thing with him filming for The Witcher.
Right. I would say that, yeah, I mean, it's just everyone's out. I would say everyone as we know it. Which, if they're going to keep one person out of it, please keep Ezra Miller as the Flash. I thought he did so good, but that's...
yeah, I don't know if any of them are going to come back.
So, yeah, I mean, like you said, how terrible is it to revamp something that's already going on when, like we'd read last week, this entire long list of DC projects that eventually are going to get done, and I mean, we have Aquaman coming out next weekend, this weekend.
Next weekend.
We've got Shazam in April, which is this movie has the worst title ever. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. It sounds like a fucking Tarantino movie. In 2020, and then Wonder Woman in 2020, and then the
we
Joker.
didn't do the list last year or last week.
Yeah, so I agree. It's terrible to revamp something that you're still doing, but in the same time, you kind of have to cut yourself off. Like, you kind of have to say, like, after Wonder Woman, we're not doing anything else. And sorry, Suicide Squad 2. And
well, that's the thing is you got Aquaman coming out with the same character. I said this before, with the same character that was in Justice League.
Right.
So it makes you feel like that universe is still alive.
Yeah.
Even though all your other actors are slowly dropping off. And you got a Flash movie coming.
Yeah.
Like you just said, does that mean they're going to get rid of Ezra Miller before that movie comes out and get a new Flash while they still have the dude playing Aquaman who played in the same movie as Ezra Miller? It's weird.
Yeah,
it's confusing and awkward. That's why I said about Amy Adams leaving. You can't put Henry Cavill as Superman back in there with a new Lois Lane. That would be weird.
It would be weird, and
even though I didn't care for her as Lois Lane,
it was weird in the Nolan Batmans whenever Rachel Dawes was Katie Holmes.
But I was happy because
I was happy
Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes,
she's not the greatest actress.
Terrible.
And nobody even knew until after that whole trilogy came out that Batman Begins was even part of that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just weird, jarring decisions from these guys all the time.
Yeah, Warner Brothers, I cannot at all think about what they're doing. And now they're announcing...
I hope Joker's good.
And now they're announcing Warner Media, which is their streaming service. Another streaming service.
Don't they have the DC Universe?
That's for the comic books. Warner Media is going to be more blanketed of the Warner Brothers everything.
Cripes.
Yeah, so get ready for that. Coming at you... Probably never, according to Warner Brothers' track record of releasing things.
Die before it.
It will die before
born.
it. Yeah, it's a shame. Next up in DC news, this is interesting. You want to tell us about this?
All right. So this week, if you're a fan of the CW DC television shows, the Arrowverse. You know that this week coming, they have the Elseworld collaboration.
Yes.
Which is a bunch of episodes pulling all the characters into the episodes. And there's also episodes that are kind of like a what-if situation, where characters are getting swapped. They're in different universes, different parallel timelines. So, like, there's an episode where the dude that plays Flash... is the Arrow. And the dude that plays Arrow is Flash.
Oh.
And there's a alternate timeline in one episode where Batman doesn't exist, but Batwoman does. And this is their introduction, bringing Ruby Rose as Batwoman into the Arrowverse before her show drops.
Oh.
So she's going to be in the episode.
Okay,
so in this episode, supposedly... Mr. Freeze's wife isn't dying. She's okay.
Oh.
She's a scientist, and they show her in her laboratory in a picture that was released. And on a shelf behind her is a bunch of stuff, a bunch of props and stuff.
Right.
And there's a mannequin head with Bane's mask.
Oh.
And not just any old Bane's mask. It is detailed the mask from Dark Knight.
Tom Hardy Bane mask. Interesting.
So all these people are like going apeshit that love the Arrowverse, saying it's connected to the Dark Knight trilogy, which no, it's not.
No.
Everyone who comes out with a superhero movie wants it to be connected to the Dark Knight trilogy,
Right.
but Christopher Nolan did not write those movies to be attached to anything.
Yeah, that'd be like me making my own sci-fi television show and having a lightsaber in the background, and then you're like,
it's in the Star Wars universe.
It's in the Star Wars. No, it's not. It's just a lightsaber. All right, so I'm with you. I'm very skeptical as to whether it actually is in the Nolan verse. Which, yeah, I mean, it's like you said. Those movies were not made to be spun off or anything into anything. And plus, it doesn't make sense that it would. So what I'm thinking here is just that it's just a really cool Bane mask. And it's kind of what we are to now see as the Bane mask is.
Right, and
it's better than having a luchador mask on the back, I guess. I mean, I would actually like that a lot. Just me
yeah,
personally.
I mean, it's cool to have it in there because technically it is a Batman story, right?
Right.
So,
I mean, they could have put a can of bat shark repellent on that shelf, and everyone would have been freaking out saying that's connected to the 66 Batman.
right.
So,
And speaking of Batwoman,
yeah.
do you remember the picture that we got
Yeah.
a while back
Yeah.
of her in her costume and what she
Right.
was going to look like?
Right.
And we weren't a huge fan.
No.
But I've never been a huge fan of the character in the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
It looks comic accurate.
It really looks very comic accurate, I will say that.
Until we got our first footage of her in the new episode coming up. Her first time on air looks like
Was her hair more
the
pink?
most dog shit thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Pink.
All of a sudden, you changed her signature colors of a red bat and blood red hair to vibrant hot pink
Yeah.
bat with vibrant hot pink hair.
I don't like that.
Why? Why did they change it? It looked fine
It did look fine.
in this picture.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks really good. Right. Yeah,
It's so pink.
I have been sitting for months trying to understand what DCCWB. I got something to call it. The DCWB.
It's called the Arrowverse.
No, I'm gonna call it the DC. I'm gonna call it the DCWB. Is what I'm gonna call it. Which it's stupid to call it the Arrowverse because wasn't Flash the first show of that run?
No.
That's a lie.
No, Arrow came out before. This first season of Arrow came out, then the first season of Flash.
Okay.
I watched Flash up until like the 6th or 7th season.
Okay.
It's not bad. And I watched the first 2 seasons of Arrow. I made myself get through them. They were okay.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't the greatest. I wanted to see Deathstroke.
Yeah, don't we all?
And he was in there a good bit.
I
He never had his mask on, though. They
Yeah.
wanted to show off what's his face's.
So yeah, the
Was that right?
yeah. Well, I actually didn't. Yes, you are right.
So
2 years. It's Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow are.
which Legends of Tomorrow ended up having like 12 characters in it.
Right.
So that just like hugely expanded that.
And then it's in the web series Vixen and Freedom Fighters.
And now they're adding Batwoman,
Yeah.
which is a little weird that you have Superman showing up in a shit ton of episodes.
Plus, Constantine was in in a couple of episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. But you don't have Batman.
Right.
But now you're introducing an alternate reality where Batman doesn't exist. Well, you didn't tell me that Batman existed in the first place.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Arrowverse.
I think it's just it's so watered down for everybody.
Well, that's what it is. It's cable.
Yeah.
They want people who aren't as into it as us, but sit down every night and watch TV and want to watch a show that they watch each week. And they can get into it without really having to know as much as our massive brains.
Our gigantic brains.
You know?
I know our brains. So there you go. Yeah, that's a neat little fact, maybe. I don't know. We got a couple trailers to talk about next. First, we are going to talk about Brightburn.
I was really hoping that you would dig it, because it popped up on my feed and said James Gunn.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's his first.
Producing.
Yes.
Right.
But it's his first anything post Disney Fire.
Right.
So it was just nice to see his name come up on the screen.
Agreed.
And kind of go back to the dark of what he used to do.
Yeah, it was very Slither kind of.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling.
So yeah, that was really cool. I liked it.
You know what I thought it was?
What'd you think
when I
it
first
was?
started watching?
What?
I thought it was a Superman movie.
Yeah, that's what it leads you to believe. It definitely,
like, the first 5 minutes were straight up Superman.
Yeah, it definitely opens up like that.
But he's like the opposite.
Yes.
Of Superman.
Yeah. Directed by David Yarovsky, which he was... doesn't really look like much.
It seems like a low budget film, but that doesn't deter me from... I really like the trailer. I thought
the director, this is like his... he did The Hive in 2015, and that's kind of it. That's the only other movies he's directed. He worked...
The Hive. Why does that sound so familiar? Do I have that movie?
You might. He was an editor on... nope. He was a producer on... Nope. He was a writer for... Nope. Yeah, I don't really know much about this guy. Which is cool.
Well, he's got James Gunn behind him.
Right, yeah. I would honestly, enjoy the perspective of a new director that I've never really...
On a new story that has...
Right.
I mean, this is I don't know if this is a comic book. I don't think at all.
I don't think it is.
I think this is... It's funny that he would go with this choice.
Right.
Because it is comic book-ish.
Yes. What if a child from another world crash landed on Earth, but instead of becoming a hero to mankind, he proved to be something far more sinister? Which I love that idea. Everyone knows, I love the villains.
I like how when Superman crash landed and they found him as a child, he was drawn to his spaceship.
Yes.
That was always in the barn.
Right.
And she's like, it's like he's drawn to it. And I was like, oh shit, it's going to be a spaceship. But it's like a cape.
Yeah, it's
cloth,
like the thing that he was sent
mask
in.
thing.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Which he looks really badass in.
Yeah, right? It looks amazingly.
And he slices a door in half with his heat vision?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
It would appear that...
Bright burn?
It would appear that it is... I got it. Like a heat vision, and then he rips it open.
Man, that lunge forward. I was watching it by myself, and I like drop back.
Release date May 24th, 2019. There's really not much to know about this movie right now.
I didn't know it was coming out.
It's a villain origin.
Came out of nowhere, and
I do have one piece of trivia for you. The middle school scenes were shot at the now defunct Patrick Henry High School in Stockbridge, Georgia. This is the same location used for both Hawkins Middle and Hawkins High School in season 1 and 2 of Stranger Things. Which I got a very Stranger Things vibe from this.
Wow,
as well.
I did too. Yeah.
So, there you go. Brightburn coming at you. What did I say? May 24th? of 2019.
Yeah, boy.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about her.
What's his face? From
The Office. Yeah, Roy from The Office. David Denman. Crazy to see him. It's funny how the last Office star we saw in a movie was Jim with his beard, and now we have Roy with his beard.
Jim and Roy were both in 36 Hours or whatever that movie is. They both have beards, and they're both in the military together.
Oh, yeah, isn't that the movie about the thing with the thing?
Benghazi.
That's right.
Really boring.
Yeah.
Really boring.
Those movies don't do it.
Really boring.
Really boring. All right, and then we have our big trailer.
We didn't get any trailer for that.
Our last Friday.
Oh, you don't want to talk about the movie poster?
What movie poster?
For Sonic.
Oh, yeah, we could talk about that.
Him zipping in.
It was a motion poster.
It was a motion poster. We got a furry old silhouette of Sonic.
Yeah.
And he ain't got his little skinny legs and arms anymore.
Yesterday we got the motion poster for the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which saw blue blur of light zipping around, collecting
and then he
up
stops
some rings.
and he's got like...
Well, he's got to collect the rings.
Yeah, he gets the rings, and then he's got the electricity.
And then he stops in front of your camera. Static electricity to a silhouette of a jacked up Sonic the Hedgehog.
Just thick.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, oh, he's ripped, he's swollen. No, not really. They just didn't give him his like thin ass legs and arms. They just thickened them.
Which, if I'm thinking about a character that runs that fast, his legs are going to be fucking thick. Like, that's it. Like, and I understand, like, when you're rendering a character image in 1988 Sega, of course his legs are going to be little skinny twigs. But 30 years later, I expect to have a better looking
character. If you're going
character.
live action,
right? Yeah, right. It's gonna look weird when you first see it because it's not on a fucking video game, people.
Yeah. Well, that's why the fur kind of threw me off for a second, because all these cartoon characters are coming to the live action. I'm putting quotation marks up for the audio listeners.
Right.
They're putting fur on all these cartoon characters, and it's a little weird at first.
Of course it is, because it's...
But then you think about it, well, even when I think about a hedgehog, they're not really covered in fur.
They're not covered in
like
blue
spines.
fur. Right, yeah, they're not covered, and they're not blue either, so I guess...
And they don't run fast.
No, they don't.
Hedgehogs are not fast. The dude that came up with that character, I'm not sure he knew what a hedgehog actually was.
He knew what a hedgehog was.
He probably like looked up a picture of an animal. It was like, there, I'll just make this guy the main.
That's it.
Protagonist of.
It's like a random word generator. It could have been Sonic the Table.
Well, I don't know if they had internet back then.
Oh, that's true. Mm-hmm. Probably just dictionaried.
Yeah.
Excited? Yes? No? Who is doing the Sonic voice again?
The dude from Parks and Rec, the friend of.
Jean-Ralphio Saperstein, who is Ben Schwartz.
Ben Schwartz is doing the voice of Sonic.
Cool. And James Marsden's in it.
James Marsden is going to be the weird friend.
Jim Carrey will play Dr. Robotnik.
Isn't it Dr. Eggman now?
Is it Dr. Eggman now?
I hope they go back to Robotnik.
It's Robotnik to me.
Because they switched it a long time ago to Dr. Eggman.
I will cut off my left arm and hit.
I was watching Sonic Boom the other night, and they kept calling it. They're just talking to Eggman. I'm like, it's fucking Dr. Robotnik. Like, why did they even change that?
Yeah. What was the reason? I don't get it.
When did that happen?
Right. I don't get it. Very excited.
Because he's round?
Possibly. And then, now we're talking about the big meat.
All right, here we go.
And we're swinging it.
We finally got a trailer for Avengers 4.
That's right.
We got a title.
We got it all.
Well, we didn't get much, but we got enough.
I think we got a lot.
We got the greatest trailer ever composed.
Yeah.
I keep saying it. Every time we talk about a trailer, I say I love the weird era we're in with trailers, and Marvel ups it every time they release a trailer.
Yeah.
This was perfect.
Agreed.
It didn't give you anything, but it gave you just enough.
Right. So we open up with a stranded Tony Stark floating through space in the Benatar, the Guardians of the Galaxy ship. And he's lost. He's lost his hope. He's lost everything. And he's recording a message on an Iron Man mask.
What's left of
the nanobots.
The nano suit.
Just sending off his last message to Pepper. And it's like super sad. And you feel it.
Yeah. I love that this trailer is just us catching up. With where everyone left off.
Right, exactly. Like
it's not moving us forward.
Right.
It's just catching up and finding out where everyone is. Right when that all shit went down.
Yeah, we know. We all knew that Tony was going to be getting off of Titan. We didn't need to see him on Titan.
Right.
Which I hope we don't see him on Titan. I hope they just
I think most of what we saw in that trailer is going to be the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Just
like when Infinity War trailer dropped, most of what we saw in that trailer was the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Tony gives his message. The end is part of the journey.
He's out of food, out of water.
Water.
Oxygen's going to be gone the next day.
Yep.
Is it the end of Tony Stark?
When he fades off, he will think of Pepper.
Dream of Pepper.
Dream of Pepper.
It was always her.
Which I feel like when he says it was always you, and he points to the mask. I feel like
he's actually talking to Iron Man.
It was always you. Would anyone be surprised by it? I'm sorry. Would anyone be surprised by that?
I didn't even think of that.
So then we open.
My thing is how if he doesn't expect her to find him, how does he expect that message to be getting back to her?
I think it's kind of a for him thing,
like a final. Just I gotta put something out because I'm about to die.
Right, I can't just leave it at nothing.
I got you.
And then we have a great dusting of the Marvel Studios logo, which I thought was super sexy.
It was beautiful.
And then we jump to Captain America, and Black Widow at the Avengers compound.
At the Avengers headquarters.
At the Avengers compound. Back home. Bruce Banner's also there. It would appear that Thor may or may not be there.
What was he? Okay, so he's sitting in front of something.
I could not tell what it was.
And everybody looks like he's in some kind of prison, like when S.H.I.E.L.D. had those prisons at the end of Civil War. And I'm like, no.
It did not look like that. If anything, it looked like...
He looked like he was just sitting out in the corner of the room at the Avengers headquarters, just sulking.
Right, yeah, that's what it looked like to me. Like, not necessarily him in prison.
It is weird looking. It's like a bunch of, octagon things behind him.
Could be like a lab or something like that. We see Banner searching through the faces of the lost people, because apparently...
They say missing.
Yeah, right. At this point... It appears that even the Avengers don't know what happened.
Well, they know what happened.
Right.
They just don't. The people that weren't there.
They don't know how big of a scale it
is.
If
they actually got dusted, or because it just says obviously he knows Bucky's dead. Mm-hmm. He was there. Mm-hmm. He watched Bucky fall into dust.
Right.
But he doesn't know where Peter Parker. Like I said when we talked about Infinity War, I love that those two groups never came in contact.
Yeah.
Those two groups had no idea that they were even fighting for the same thing.
Right.
I love that.
Right.
And that's still where we're at now.
Yes.
They have no idea where Stark was. They have no idea where Peter Parker was. No. We did get a little flash of something right before Peter Parker.
Yes.
We got a picture of Shuri.
Yep.
So, confirmed she is missing?
Missing. I'm not dusted. No, I'm not going to say dusted. I'm saying she went off the map and she is now the Black Panther, is what I'm going to say.
Nope. Bubba, upstairs. Now.
Go.
They all know who Bubba is.
We got dog fans crashing.
I introduced him in one of my videos the other day.
So yeah, and we have, there is a plan, apparently. And Cap hopes it works.
I love that they got to throw that in there. Just a little bit, in this such a downer trailer.
Yeah.
Distraught, everybody's just torn. He's like, we lost.
Yeah.
We all lost. And then you're like, well, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
And you got Black Widow and Cap standing in front of a computer or something. And he says, we have a plan, and she's like, it's gonna work, and he says, it has to. If it doesn't, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
What does that mean?
What does it mean?
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Off himself?
He might. I don't know.
No beard.
No beard, which...
Nice hair again.
A lot of people have been speculating as why the no beard and hair, and it might be because he himself, along with somebody else who we will be talking about here in a minute, have to go back in time, and he needs to blend into what he looked like in 2012.
I didn't think of that. You know what I thought of?
What'd you think of?
He's been attending a lot of funerals.
True.
He's spiffed up.
Could be it.
Maybe he just wanted to shave his beard.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, me either. I've been freaking growing this thing for 2 years, and it's never going to go away.
2 years?
No, it's been like 6 months.
Okay, good.
It was like, what, spring when I started?
I think something like that.
Yeah.
And then we had a nice little flash showing us all of our remaining heroes. We saw Nebula, we saw Thor, we saw Banner, we saw...
Do you think Nebula was in the ship with Stark?
Is she in the Benatar with Stark?
It looked like it to me.
100%.
And then you see her hand touching something.
Touching cloth. It could be Stark, or it could be maybe Gamora's jacket.
Because I stared at that image for a while.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what it is.
It could be...
I don't even know if that's her hand, honestly. I can't even tell if that's Nebula's hand. It's just right after that shot of Nebula.
Right. Money would say that if it's Nebula's hand, it is Stark's shoulder. I think a really cool thing would be to say she has like Gamora's jacket sitting right there, which was cool.
Oh, we missed the shots of Thanos. We got really nice shots of Thanos and where he is on his farm.
Thanos is on his farm walking through his wheat, and we get to see the iconic image of the armor on the Scarecrow.
Everything that everybody thought we were going to get in Infinity War, and we were disappointed.
Yeah.
We got it in the trailer for Endgame.
Which we did, if you look closely and you look fast enough at the end of Infinity War, it is in there. It's right, like, as it's approaching the doorway, it's right to the right.
I said that. And McGee told me I was wrong.
No.
And I thought I was right.
You were right.
But we get a clear shot of that.
We get a very clear effing shot of an iconic image.
Thanos kind of just dragging his hand through
his gauntlet.
Melted
gauntlet, broken hand where none of the stones are even shimmering.
I was going to say, so is this a direct scene of him coming through the portal and then home? Or is the thing stuck on his hand?
I think the thing is stuck on his hand, is what I think it is.
It's like a curse.
Yeah. Well, exactly, like Eitri. Like, he broke Eitri's hands and encased him in metal, and now it's happened to him. I thought it was really cool. I think that is going to really play an interesting dynamic as to what Thanos' mental state is right now. Like,
is he at peace? Is he happy with his decision?
Is he feeling remorse for Gamora? Is he this? Is he that? There's a lot going on, and they really didn't. And I was so glad they didn't give us a lot of Thanos. Like, I thought that was really cool.
Just 2 scenes.
2 scenes.
Scarecrow and his hand in the wheat.
Right. At the end of the trailer,
after they say, the plan's got to work.
Yep. And after we get our title,
boom,
Endgame.
Rusty old A dusting half.
I saw it was interesting.
Endgame.
It was interesting. Somebody had analyzed, and I don't know if they were just speaking out of their bums, but when the Avengers logo, when the logo for the movie shows up, it's a screen of blue, or I'm sorry, it's a screen of purple, Thanos purple, that fades.
Which everybody keeps saying that it's going to be very heavy on the, what's the purple gem? Power. Yeah.
And the purple fades out, and then the Avengers logo reshapes itself from dust in front of the purple. And a lot of people are saying that that's going to play a big thing into where, yes, it's heavy like Thanos won, but at the end, the Avengers will put everything back together.
Did you see the side-by-sides of all the logos from the different movies?
No.
And Infinity War is yellow, because the Soul Stone was important in that movie.
Right, Mind
This
Stone.
one... Or yeah. The Mind Stone was the most important because that's the one the Last Stand against was the that one. And this one's purple for
You know who
the
else
Power
is,
Stone.
You know who else is purple?
Barney?
Galactus.
Oh. And they look very similar. The Infinity War and the logo, it's really cool seeing them side by side. It's like a healthy golden one and then a shattered purple one.
Endgame.
Endgame.
Do you like it?
I love it.
I love it.
I mean, that's what God, when was this when we talked about Endgame? Like
a long time ago.
2 weeks, a week, the day after the movie Infinity War came out.
Yeah. Which was cool when
that guy who released that statement right after the movie, and he was like, I saw it, it was Endgame, and everybody's like, you're full of shit because the Russo brothers shut you down instantly. Yep. Those Russo brothers,
so
man.
Much. I don't believe anything they say anymore. I always thought it was cool because I was watching when I watched Age of Ultron, and Tony's going on that whole spiel like, we can bust arms dealers all day, and it doesn't matter at all. Up there, that's the end game. And I was like, ah!
Yeah, there's the 2 times that spoken was when Stark said it right there, and Doctor Strange in Infinity War.
Yep.
He was talking about Ultron when he said that.
Right. Well, he was talking about the need for the artificial intelligence because there's a greater threat.
Right.
He's not
to end the greater threat.
It's not just Ultron. It's everything.
Well, that's what he says multiple times in Ultron. Is like, isn't that the point? So that they don't need the Avengers anymore.
Right.
So that we're safe.
Right.
And then Cap rips a log in half.
Oh, I love that part. I was chopping wood, and I had like a wood, and I tried it, and it didn't work. I'm not Captain America, apparently. So, what are we? We
didn't talk about the final.
Oh, that's right. We were getting there.
Because we're okay. So
we were getting there.
We're negative, shitty. Everybody's sad. There's no hope.
Boom.
Hey guys.
We got a little video of
Scott. So like, it was pretty crazy to see it.
Right.
Because they left us at the end of Ant-Man with him stuck in the quantum realm.
Exactly.
So for them to drop that in a trailer was pretty big for a small trailer with not much in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that was our big speculation. Like, here you go, little birdies.
Yeah.
You want something? I'll feed you.
Chew on that, you son of a bitch.
So Scott Lang's outside the compound trying to buzz himself in. Hey, you don't remember me? Ant-Man, you remember that? What are you looking for?
So, when you look up in the top part of the screen here, you see a little word that looks like archive.
That's why Cap says,
Is this old footage?
Yeah.
I think that he, through his time traveling, like Scott Lang's jumping around time, and he went there looking for them, but they weren't there. So now they have to go out and find him. Possibly. I think because when I first looked at it, I'm like...
Well, they wouldn't have put that line in there. They wouldn't have put the Cap line, is this old? And she went, that's the front door.
Right.
Like, are you a moron?
Right. I was honestly like, I was pausing it, and I'm studying every image, and I'm playing it for a second, and I'm pausing, and...
So we haven't... Him and I have not seen Ant-Man and the Wasp yet.
No.
I was going to buy it the other day.
I'm so close.
But it's supposed to be on Netflix here in a couple of weeks.
How much is it on Vudu?
$20. Yeah, it hasn't went down yet. But it's supposed to be on Netflix in a couple of weeks, so I'm probably just gonna wait for that.
I mean, it's gonna be on Netflix in like February.
I thought it was the end. I thought it was around Christmas.
No, that's Infinity War.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe I'll get it anyway.
Okay.
But from what I know, from what I've seen about the movie, is that there's a quantum tunnel in the back of that van.
Right.
So he's driving around with a way to get into the quantum universe.
Right. Correct.
That was it. I just wanted to say that he's got a quantum tunnel.
There it is.
In that picture right there.
All right, so let's talk really quick. Who saves Iron Man? Who saves Tony Stark?
Oh, I just had a good conversation about this today. I gave McGee 3 options. Captain Marvel, Rescue, Pepper Potts, Silver Surfer.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Woo! You didn't even think about that last one. All right, so. Cripes.
That just made the wheels turn. That just was
All
like, what if Silver Surfer's on his way to Earth to prepare it for Galactus, and he just happens to run into Tony Stark?
If I'm betting with my money, I'm gonna bet on Rescue.
Yeah, that's.
If I'm betting with somebody
obvious.
else's money, Silver Surfer.
Wouldn't that be the tits?
Right? And I mean, it'll probably end up being Captain Marvel just because.
On her way back to Earth.
Right. So.
Those two are the obvious. We did get not the leaked. We got Gwyneth Paltrow just posted herself in a Iron Man-esque suit.
The purple Iron Man suit.
In front of a green screen.
So here's my question about the rescue suit. Now, she has no idea where Tony is.
This is you want my theory?
Yeah.
On how she's going to find him?
Yeah.
Rocket. Rocket Raccoon is on Earth. That's his ship.
That's the
There's got to have a beacon.
Right. Damn. All right. Sweet.
Because what made me think of that was I was talking to McGee, and he said, I was disappointed I didn't see Rocket in that trailer. Wonder where he is. And I went, I can't see Rocket hanging around on Earth.
Yeah.
I don't think he fits in. But I instantly thought of, that's his ship. We've already seen at the beginning of Infinity War them just happenstance on Thor because of a beacon distress call.
Right.
So why wouldn't Rocket know where his ship is?
True. Man, that's crazy. You know what I would hope for Rocket, like at the opening of this movie, is that he's just a fall down drunk. Like,
on Earth or on a different planet?
On Earth.
Because I don't see him staying on Earth.
I see him staying on Earth.
How can he fit in with people
He
and
has
raccoons?
nowhere else to go. He's just going to be hanging around Avengers compound just slugging on whiskey, and Thor's all pissed off at him because he's like, dude, we could do something. He's like, fuck you. All my friends are dead. What do I care? I'm going to drink myself to death. Like leaving Las Vegas.
I was going to say, it looked like Thor was in that position.
I know. It looked like he was all
He's done.
boozing.
He looks like he has given up.
Hey,
we didn't talk about Ronan.
No, we did not talk about Ronan. I knew there was
biggest
something.
part of the trailer.
I knew there was something we forgot.
So in between,
there we go. They're talking about how Black Widow's voicing over the trailer as she's talking about how it's changed people, and then we get this sweet back image of a gentleman in what would appear to be Japan.
I can say he's definitely in Japan.
Just taking a blade.
He's got 3 bodies.
Yep, 3 bodies, one right at his feet. And he takes his blade and he cleans it off in his arm. Turn around,
his mask off.
Take the hood off, and it's damn ass Hawkeye.
It's a hard
he looks pissed.
rough. His purple.
Yeah, no sleep.
He just looks
no sleep.
Rough, angry and rough.
And he is in the classic, which. Good on you, Marvel Studios.
Give me Ronan. You gave me Nomad. You didn't call him Nomad, but you gave me Nomad.
Right.
Give me Ronan.
It's classic Ronan costume. Like it is legit, super detailed Ronan costume, which I am like, oh damn, that's so cool.
So cool.
So Black Widow is apparently sent out to look for Hawkeye.
I'm sure they're gonna try to recruit whoever's still left.
Oh, that would be interesting to see. We need help. Oh, there's a rumor of this guy in Japan who is just taking down everybody. We need to get him on our team. And Black Widow goes. She doesn't even know that it's Hawkeye.
That's probably they show her face after he turns around, and takes the mask off, and she's like, yeah. So what does that tell us? In the comic book, Hawkeye becomes Ronin because his wife and daughter are murdered.
Right.
So, his wife and daughter are definitely victims of the decimation.
Yes. Wife, daughters.
Oh, yeah, because he has 2 now.
And son. No, it's 2 sons.
He has 2 sons?
He has 2 sons. Because in Age of Ultron, he has the oldest is a son, the middle one's a daughter, and then his wife is
son.
His wife is pregnant with.
I knew she was pregnant.
Who the Black Widow thought it was Natasha, but it ended up being Nathaniel. Yeah. So, yeah,
she's a traitor.
So yeah, we've got. I mean, Hawkeye lost everything, and he went away.
That's why I'm seeing this. That's the time jump in this trailer. I'm seeing a time jump here.
It's like 5 months. It's not years. It's
you don't think that's years?
No, I don't think it's
he,
years.
You think so his family got dusted.
Years.
He just stood up, got a new costume, went to Japan, and started murdering Tokyo people.
Yeah. How did Tony Stark survive 5 years out in space?
You're thinking in one continuity. This is a trailer, bro. They could be splicing things together to throw you off like a mofo.
Yeah, I think they're throwing you way off.
I think that, obviously, the Tony Stark thing is literally, it's going to be the beginning of the movie. It's directly after what just happened.
Right. Not even, maybe months. I'd say months.
The at the Avengers compound is months later. I'm thinking after we get Scott Lang involved and we start recruiting people, we're gonna get years. Especially when we get the time travel back.
It'll be interesting to see.
I also was thinking really heavily on this quantum verse thing. And it'd be so easy for them to be like, for Scott Lang to be like, oh, I popped out in this one timeline. You never believe these people are mutants are around. Boom.
Well, that's an interesting...
Like, that's so easy.
After they reverse the decimation, there's a theory going around that once the decimation is reversed, whatever they do, that it will just be altered, and it'll be like you'll have a post-credit scene where Tony's talking with Cap or whoever's still alive.
Tony's talking with Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards.
Well, maybe.
He's just
throwing
ideas off somebody, and the camera pans over to
I'm not going that way. I have a different way for the Fantastic Four. But what I'm saying is that, maybe Tony's talking to somebody, and they're like, what's changed? And then they say, it'll take us years to figure out what's actually changed, and then pan up on a shot of Professor X's school for the gifted youth.
That'd be small. It'd be subtle.
Right. It would be a small, subtle way.
Rather than Wolverine walking out of the mist, tearing someone's head off.
Right. My hope for the Fantastic Four moving forward would be that at the end of Black Panther 2, there's a problem, blah, blah, blah. They need somebody else. And Shuri goes, I know a guy. Super smart. He'd be willing to help.
Reed Richards.
And then we ball roll there. That would be my hopes, because the Fantastic Four and Black Panther worked a lot together back in the day. So that would be cool with me. I was happy.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the
trailer.
It was beautiful.
Thank you, not from me, but from Marvel. They thanked all of the fans. 289 million views in 24 hours. The fastest viewed trailer ever.
And a big fraction of those were these two guys.
I watched it 6 times right away. I've
at least watched it 10 times.
Oh, I was sitting like, because it was released 8 o'clock Friday morning.
8.
And I was sitting at my desk at 8:30, and I was on the YouTube, and I found it, and I was like, holy shit, and I put in both of my earphones, and I fucking started watching it, and I'm like, yeah! Whoa! And everyone's staring at me, and I'm like, I don't even care right now.
I put it on, like, I'm just working.
That's what you were like, I gotta wait.
I just stopped, and I'm like... And then I, like, looked around, and everybody's working, and I'm like... I probably shouldn't just be standing here watching a trailer. I clicked it off, set it down, and I was like, I'll watch it at 10.
That's what you were like. Oh, I'm gonna wait till 10. I was like,
it's not going anywhere. It's not going
Avengers
anywhere.
4. It's Endgame.
It was just as good at 10 o'clock as it was at 8 o'clock.
That's true. Endgame.
Endgame.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Strange Planet Podcast. We have been your hosts. This has been
Corey James,
and I've been Anthony Zevatek. Have a strange day.